Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. In this episode, I'll be talking about programming in 2020. There is a bit of a misconception that you need to be a programmer in 2020, and my response to that is it's not true. It's not true because at the end of the day, it's all about sales. And if you're already working sales, then you're in a much better position because you're more valuable to the organization than a programmer, because a programmer is just somebody that makes your vision come true in a sense, you know. But you have to understand who you're trying to sell to first, right? So you're gonna need somebody that's really good in sales, somebody that's good in marketing, advertisement, etc. Programming in 2020 is useful, but not as useful as sales. Uh, it's the same thing with it's always been the same thing. Sales have always been sales. Like if you have a company, or let's say that you're trying to start a company, there's no need for you to learn how to fix a truck. You know, there's no need for you to go buy yourself your own delivery truck. You know, there's already companies that are established that will help you with all the services that you would ever need to start a business. Like it's, you know, you have products to sell, you have manufacturers. You don't actually need to learn how to make a printer. You can just go buy a printer so you can make invoices, stuff like that. So a lot of people feel like they need to get down in the weeds, you know, for some reason. Like you don't need to learn how to make a printer. You don't need to learn how to um, drive a delivery truck. You don't need to learn how to change the oil in the delivery truck. Like if you start a business and you're like, oh my god, my shipping costs are ridiculous, that means that you're doing well. That means that you're shipping out a lot of things and business is good. And then at that point, you have other problems. Like, what are you going to do with all the money you're making? Then I guess, yeah, it's like, okay, I guess I could invest it in buying my own delivery truck and hiring a mechanic and stuff like that. But most people lose vision of what's important, you know, like I see a lot of people go into programming and not really understanding what it is that they're trying to do. Is the end of the day you're trying to make sales. And I'm not here to discourage you from learning programming, because on this show we will be discussing programming and different aspects of it. From my experience, I think it's better to start out with HTML, hypertext, text markup or something language, and then CSS, container style sheets. So learn HTML and CSS first if you're going to go in that direction. But like I said, sales and programming are two different things, and they do complement each other, but they're not necessary. Because if you already have a business and you're like, I need a website for my business, there are many companies out there that will help you create a website with little to no effort, and it'll be probably better than one that you put together yourself. It'll be much more secure, you name it. And so if you're like, shipping costs are outrageous, you have bigger problems then at that point. Like you're making too many sales. That's good, right? So same thing with the if you have too much website traffic, then you're making too many. You know, you have bigger problems than that, right? That's good that you have a lot of website traffic. And so there are other languages out there like Python and Ruby on Rails and Angular and React and a lot of different languages that are very niche, you know. And I'm not that being said, if you're a Python developer, that doesn't mean that you're doing awful because you don't know React. And if you're a React developer, that doesn't mean that you're doing awful because you don't know Python. It's very specific, like very niche. And same thing with sales. Like you can't have a good company without a good sales representative to sell your product, you know. So that being said, you do not need to learn programming in 2020, and no, it won't change your life. It won't. So you might even start pulling your hair out like, oh my god, this is so fucking frustrating. I don't understand this. I'm a people person. I like talking to people. I like helping people. And, you know, so that if you're one of those people, then yes. Otherwise, if you're like, I can't stand being around people. I'm sick of talking to people. Just put me in the back somewhere and, you know, and put me in a broom closet and a laptop and I'll be happy, then okay. Then yes, programming might be a good option for you. But that being said, sales is much more fun, I feel. There's more interaction, you might be helping people, and you might also be directing the programmers what they need to make in a way. So, just focus on that, whatever makes you happy. But you do not need programming in 2020 to have a successful business in 2020. That would be like saying you need to learn how to drive a train to have a successful business, and that's not true. You don't need to learn how to drive a plane. You don't need to learn how to drive a bus, a train. You don't need to learn how to do any of that because there's already so many services out there that will provide that for you. So that's just a big misconception that you need to learn programming. It's not true. That's not true. So that being said, in the future, we'll be going over different sales strategies, different programming languages. We'll be looking at companies that are doing excellent, what their marketing team looks like. We'll be looking at companies that are no longer with us and what marketing decisions they made. And I promise you that the companies that are no longer with us, it was not because they didn't have talented programmers. It was more like they did not have talented sales representatives. So that will always be true. That will always be true no matter what year it is. So if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button and share this with somebody if you found this useful. Thank you so much for being on this episode, and I'll see you next time on The Budget Show. Thank you. Have a good day.